To say that there is a lot of Marvel projects coming out is an understatement. Between the MCU, which has already had 2 hit movies this year, with likely 2 more on the way via Eternals and Spider-Man No Way Home films, and the Disney Plus series, there is a lot to go out and enjoy. But one of the benefits of the new Disney Plus realm is that there are chances to go and expand the roster in ways that movies can't allow as of yet, including bringing in fan-favorite character She-Hulk, a series that many are looking forward to, so allow us to show you why She-Hulk is about to change everything. Number 7. Who is She-Hulk? Okay, so whether you're a die-hard fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course the comics, or just a casual fan, you likely know about Bruce Banner, aka the Incredible Hulk. But you have to have a slightly deeper knowledge of comics to know about Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk. And no, she's not just a female Hulk, it goes much deeper than that, as we're about to tell you. In the comics, Jen gets shot by some henchmen for a crime boss who is out for her dad, the sheriff. She needs an emergency blood transfusion, and it just so happens that the only available donor with the right blood type is her cousin, Bruce Banner. Her brand new gamma-ray infused blood lets her Hulk out, green skin and all. Like her cousin, She-Hulk is super strong, super fast, super green, and heals very quickly. Unlike Bruce in the earlier MCU films, Jen retains her intelligence and emotional control when she transforms into She-Hulk, instead of turning into a giant green, powerful superhero. As part of the grander Marvel Comics universe, She-Hulk is an icon in many ways, and has been a part of various hero groups including the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, of which she is a current member in the comics, albeit a more savage form of She-Hulk. Long story. So she is a different character altogether, but that begs a question that needs to be asked. Number 6. Why aren't they just doing a Hulk story? If you recall, there was a Hulk movie that helped start off the MCU via The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton, but due to creative differences with Marvel, Norton didn't return to the role of Banner and Mark Ruffalo took over once Avengers was made, and he's been with it ever since. However, there is a bit of a rights issue via the studio that made the Hulk movie back in the early 2000s, Universal. That movie was not well received to say the least, and yet Marvel Studios was able to make one Hulk movie of their own, but not another. Marvel Studios can use Bruce Banner in a supporting capacity, which is how we got Thor Ragnarok, but he can't be used as the sole leading role. Thus, to get over that loophole and expand their roster, She-Hulk was given the green light. Now that may not please everyone, but it's honestly a case of them doing the best with the situation that they have, and then getting to use a character they wouldn't have before for some time. Number 5. Who is in the series? Regardless of what you think of the MCU overall, you can't deny that 9.5 out of 10, they get the casting perfect on the first try. Edward Norton was ironically one of the few times they missed, and so the casting of She-Hulk was going to be interesting right from the get-go. During the Disney Investors meeting in December of 2020, Marvel boss Kevin Feige announced that Emmy-winning actress Tatiana Maslany would be playing Jennifer Walters in the show, confirming the casting rumors that have been circulating since September. Maslany is a fan-favorite actress thanks to her stunning performance in BBC America's Orphan Black, which saw her playing 14 wildly different clones over the course of the series. More recently, she starred opposite Matthew Rhys in the first season of HBO's Perry Mason reboot. Now, to be clear, we're not sure how Jennifer will look in the series, both in her regular form and her Hulk form, but we would bet that it'll be accurate enough to the comics. Feige also announced in December of 2020 that Mark Ruffalo will be appearing in the Disney Plus series as Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, which is good because, as we already detailed, Bruce Banner is vital to the origins of She-Hulk, and to have her get created without him would be an insult in certain fashions. Tim Roth will be reprising his role as the Abomination, the villain he played in The Incredible Hulk. This is significant for multiple reasons, not the least of which is that in the Shang-Chi movie, the Abomination was in a fight club of sorts. Whether this was before or after that point, canon-wise, it's not clear at this time. In a series synopsis released in December of 2020, Disney wrote that She-Hulk will welcome a host of Marvel characters to the series. This is important because in that synopsis they noted that She-Hulk will be a legal comedy of sorts, with Jennifer working on superhero cases, which is exactly what she does in the comics, so it would make sense that certain characters would go and visit her. Number 4. Filming now. So what is the status of She-Hulk? Well, it's currently in production, and no release date has been given as of yet. The shooting of the series was supposed to start in July of 2020, but it was delayed because of the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, which not so ironically was the case for many of the Disney Plus shows as well as the various MCU movies that were supposed to be filmed and out by now. That being said, production is rolling and more than likely you can expect it to be out in 2022 alongside many other of the Marvel Disney Plus shows. In fact, we wouldn't be surprised if things went a certain way because of the success of the Marvel shows so far. Number 3. From WandaVision to What If? Here's the thing, as we just said, the original intention of the Marvel Disney Plus shows was to start last year alongside some of the big MCU movies that were supposed to be released then, like Black Widow, out soon, and Eternals, out in November. However, the pandemic changed that, and it might have been in a good way, because WandaVision was able to get done filming despite the pandemic restrictions, and so when it came out in January, it was honestly one of the only new shows out during that time. And as such, via the one episode a week method that Disney Plus does, they are able to build excitement for it week after week until it ended. Not long after it ended came Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which marveled, see what we did there, everyone by how deep and cinematic it was. After that was Loki, which charmed everyone because, well, it's Loki. And last but certainly not least, we had What If, that dared to tell a very different story overall. The point here is that the delays in the restructuring of when things come out help build up the Disney Plus shows, and that will likely help out when She-Hulk arrives because it might be the catalyst for Phase 2 of the shows. Number 2. A true serialized series? Well, here's the thing. Of the Marvel shows that have aired on Disney Plus right now, only one of them, Loki, is stated to have the potential to go beyond one season. WandaVision was a limited series, and Captain and the Winter Soldier was a movie-like experience that helped greenlight Captain America 4 with Sam Wilson as the lead. But with She-Hulk, there's a chance for it to go multiple seasons, not just because she's a new hero being born, but because of her nature as a lawyer and the people she can meet. And since this is a comedy, which Marvel loves to do, you can bet that they can get enough people to watch it, they'll expand it and let this hero grow. This could also be true of other series coming soon like Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight. Number 1. How can She-Hulk change the game? Finally, there's a big reason why many should want She-Hulk to work, because it can fill the void that has been left by the Hulk side of the MCU due to the rights issue. Despite what people think, there are a lot of characters from Hulk's world that could be tapped for a show like this. And when you go through the grander MCU with all the characters that might call on Jennifer Walters for her legal aid, you get a unique nexus of a show that can't be ignored. Now true, we have no idea how this will look or be, but given the track record of these shows so far, we think it'll work out well. Plus, as stated, the legal aspect of the show, which was only touched on in a narrow focus with the Netflix Daredevil series, allows a kind of fun and freedom that could be expanded more in future seasons. Not to mention, it adds yet another female-led show in an MCU that is relying even more on its female stars than it did in the first few phases. So done right, She-Hulk could shine. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at She-Hulk and how this show is likely to go in terms of characters, plot, comedy, and more? Are you personally excited for this show to arrive on Disney Plus? Do you think they'll nail the feel of Jennifer Walters and her green alter ego? What do you personally hope this leads to overall? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you next time on the channel.